When was the last time you felt truly happy? I mean so happy that you aren't bothered by the existence of mayo, which is hard to do. Why does that condiment exist? Don't answer that. It's a rhetorical question, but also it's because I already know the answer. The last time you felt true happiness was in 2010 at 8/7 Central when you sat down to watch Hannah Montana and found out that Jake Ryan cheated on her while dressed as an elf. Man, it just would not be the holidays without a laugh track and exploited child actors, which is why I spent the last 2 weeks watching every single Disney Channel holiday episode in existence, with some exceptions, so I can rank them today. Here's how this is gonna work. We're gonna break this down with 3 distinct eras. First up, you got your classic Disney. This is your That's a Raven, Even Stevens, Hannah Montana era, basically the era of former child stars who now have podcasts or live their glory days. Last era, we got an episode of That's a Raven covering racism, and in this era, we have an episode of Girl Meets World starring Sabrina Carpenter as Maya, where she hears that her friend Farkle has an autism diagnosis and acts like he has an inoperable tumor. The movies during this era, though, Disney was cooking with those. Finally, we have the Gen Alpha era, or in other words, the I stopped watching Disney Channel because I entered the workforce and had adult responsibilities era, with the exception of Miraculous Ladybug. That show's a masterpiece. I've seen every season. Right now, you're probably thinking, that's a lot of things to comment on and rank. Yes, it is. And as much as I know you guys want to watch a 5-hour-long long form on this, because I know you guys love watching these videos, I'll spare you the time. Here's how I'm gonna simplify this. For every era, I'm gonna be doing mini commentaries with ranking, with one longer, fuller analysis for the beginning of each era. If a show has more than one holiday episode, I am only doing the first one that airs. I'm sorry, I don't have time for the other one. Also, I am just commenting on live action holiday episodes. That means no movies, no cartoons. I'm really sorry, Phineas and Ferb. I'm sure your episode about building a coaster to the North Pole was Emmy Award deserving, but we're not watching it this time. I'll save that commentary for next year. Moving on, the shows will be ranked on 4 key factors. Plot. Did the writers create an interesting story? Message. What did we learn? Cringe. This one's kind of self-explanatory. And finally, entertainment value. Did I enjoy myself? Was I looking at my phone? Each factor is out of 5, with a perfect score being a 20 out of 20. Everyone got that?
Wait, I'm kind of confused on...
Great, if there's no questions, then without further ado, I'm Emily Fitzgerald, and you're watching Disney Channel. Kinda. Kicking off our classic Disney era, we have Even Stevens. This is a coming-of-age comedy about a middle school boy named Lewis Stevens, played by Shia LaBeouf. It's so crazy to think this is where he got his start. It kind of reminds me of Evan Peters' glow up. Evan went from the goofy kid with a bra on his face in the movie Sleepover to being typecast as serial killers. Shia weirdly experienced a similar trajectory.
Living in the woods, Shia LaBeouf, killing for sport, Shia LaBeouf, eating all the bodies.
If I had a nickel for every time a Disney child actor grew up to play a serial killer, I'd have like 40 cents. So many of them. Ross Lynch, Jeffrey Dahmer, Zac Efron, Ted Bundy. Wait, why am I just realizing this now? Like, this happened so... Anyway, moving on. The episode starts out with Lewis looking in a crawl space in his sister's room for Hanukkah gifts. This kid has the arm strength of a Marine. Like, how did he get up there? There's no stool. The closet was closed. Did he just Spider-Man his way up? See, this is why the Transformers chose him to save the planet. I mean, he might not have superhuman strength, but his mental aptitude, that's on par with a 13-year-old boy.
We get 1 gift for each night of Hanukkah. There are 3 of us and 8 nights. So that makes, who cares? Doesn't matter. I don't do math on Hanukkah.
Everyone knows you don't do math on Hanukkah. It's not the time for that. It's in the Torah, all right? First commandment, thou shalt not kill. Second, thou shalt not do math. Don't believe me? I fact-checked this on Wikipedia, and ethnically, I'm 30% Ashkenazi Jew, so I'm like pretty much an expert on this stuff. And Lewis is an expert at tracking down gifts. Lewis using that Terminator vision to find his gifts is the same intensity I give when I lock in to watch K-dramas. If anyone here's watched a K-drama, you know what I'm talking about, right? You look down for a second at your phone, all of a sudden you look up, again, it's subtitles because I don't speak Korean, so I don't know what they're saying. So I look up and I'm like, oh God, what is happening? Someone is on the roof, on a railing, about to jump off. I don't even know how they got there. There's 3 other subplots that have gone and passed, and I don't know what happened in those, and I can't remember anyone's name. Anyway, after this discovery, Lewis's mom gives the talk. The Hanukkah talk, that is.
A long time ago, your ancient ancestors from my side of the family were being persecuted by a group of oppressors who were trying to get the Jewish people to give up their religious beliefs.
This is actually kind of interesting because I didn't know that Disney Channel could talk about religion in this depth. Now, if this was put out in 2024, the keyboard warriors would have a field day. I can just see Debbie on Facebook right now expose Gum's quote about kindness from the Bible in her bio, and she's like,
Disney Channel is indoctrinating our kids. Christianity is the only religion allowed to be represented on a holiday episode.
I'm not Debbie though. I actually love the representation. I think it's really cool to hear about how other people celebrate the holidays. What's not so cool is the fact that Lewis goes upstairs to open all the gifts.
A miracle. I got everything I wanted.
Hey, Lo, you want there?
For this kid's sake, I really hope he starts paying attention in school, or hopefully he can go pro at sports one day because he is really stupid. Him not doing math, fine, I can overlook that. But the common sense thing, dude, you were just gonna open all your gifts and you had no plan to rewrap them? But don't worry guys, because Lewis has got an excellent plan to hide his indiscretion. Throw the gifts out the window.
Oh, no! Man!
Hey, it's not my fault. We live in a two-story house. I have always said that I like ranch style, right, Donnie?
Cut it out, Lewis!
His family is understandably upset with him, which naturally leads to him wishing he was never born.
I don't belong in this family. They'd be better if I was never born.
That is extreme and incredibly dark. But good news, the magic of him being depressed brings a ghost from his past, his Bubby Rose, who shows him a Jewish version of A Christmas Carol.
Where are we going?
Where are we going? We're going out for a day. Don't worry where we're going. Enjoy the view.
The editing on this reminds me of that one star graphic from the 90s. After a little moonlit ride, they reach their destination, but it's actually just Lewis's house, but in an alternate reality where he doesn't exist.
Son!
Who's that?
In this reality, Lewis is replaced by Curtis, the prized youngest child of the Stevens family, the complete antithesis of Lewis.
Please, just look at him. This whole trip is great, you know? Because now I know what it would be like if my family never had me. They'd be 100 times better. Thank you, booby!
Oh, I know I should be past laughing at stupid jokes like that, but there are just some words that are always gonna be funny. You say the word fart, pee-pee, poo-poo, boopy. Like that's all it takes for me to crack a smile. I'm very simple. And so are Lewis's siblings, who are the screw-ups in this reality.
Everything Curtis does is right, and I'm just a loser.
No, you are not. Look, it says right here on this little trophy, winner, first grade spelling bee.
Is it wrong of me to say I like the siblings better in this reality? Ren is less uptight and Donnie's low-key hot. The glasses just give him this soft boy vibe, and his shirt's tucked in so you can see how jacked he is. And he's just really sensitive. I don't know, I'm just saying I could live with this reality. And so can Lewis, because he suddenly becomes visible.
Who are you and where did you come from?
I'm Louis Stevosaurus, and I'm a foreign exchange student from Pennsylvania.
No questions asked. His siblings are like, yup, okay, that sounds legit. And immediately after, he gets invited to dinner with his family. And then somehow it devolves into this.
Chicken train, here it comes! Chicken, come on! Chicken.
Lewis is not only a stranger in this house, he also crashes the dinner by putting a raw chicken on his head and dances around the living room. But here's the craziest part. The family loves it. They get behind him. They conga line this thing. But see, when I do that, I get kicked out of Chili's. Make it make sense. But it all comes to a screeching halt when Curtis, the evil other Lewis, puts Hanukkah money in Lewis's pocket and the whole family turns on him.
I want to go home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. Worked in that one movie.
Okay, Wizard of Oz reference. Do you think Lewis would like Wicked? I think he would. Lewis's slipper trick does not work. Shocker. He wakes up screaming and his whole family is like, you know what? We forgive you. They have a great Hanukkah, but that's not the end of the story because an unexpected guest turns up.
You know, I was just out for a little jog, and I found these in the trash, and I thought, maybe you threw them out by mistake?
This is not the reaction I would have to a random woman walking into my house, but I guess it's fine because she's got gifts, and everyone knows that if a stranger brings gifts, they're safe. And isn't that the real meaning of Christmas, or I guess in this case Hanukkah, letting a stranger into your home as long as they leave you gifts? Ranking time, I give the plot a 4 out of 5. I feel like the Jewish Christmas Carol was a really fun take on something that's usually very tired. Message, I give that a 4 out of 5. If I had to sum it up, I would say your life has meaning even if people are angry at you, and you should treasure yourself. Cringe, 5 out of 5, meaning that it didn't feel cringy at all to me. I felt like every joke was executed so well, and I actually looked it up. Shia LaBeouf won a Daytime Emmy for this role, which is so deserved. Entertainment, 5 out of 5. I was laughing the whole episode. He called Bubby Rose booby. Come on, that's some top tier comedy. Final score, 18 out of 20. Next up, I'm watching Lizzie McGuire, another coming age show about a 13-year-old navigating the world. Except this time, she's got a cartoon that shares her internal dialogue. Totally different from Even Stevens. This episode starts out with Santa handing out gifts. Wait. Is that Steven Tyler from Aerosmith as Santa? That guy definitely got himself in some serious debt and had to do this job for a paycheck. But he's not the only one chasing Benjamins here, because Lizzie, who is so lovingly standing in line to donate her brother's toys to Santa, talks to Gordo, her best friend, about creating a float so she can win a ski trip.
I think my float will keep you busy.
Rock and roll Christmas, huh? You're really going for it.
Really going for it? It's just a gingerbread house that she wrote the words rock and roll next to it. That's like if I went up to a condemned shack and I put a paper on it that said mansion. The theme is still poverty. But Lizzie's design skills are the least of her worries, because she meets a guy who knows suspiciously a lot about elves.
You've got fake penguins. Who doesn't love penguins?
We elves aren't too wild about them. Elves are allergic to penguins.
Whoa, new elf lore drop from this guy claiming to be an elf himself. That's so legit. I mean, just listen to his name.
Nobby Frosty Bunk, nice to meet you.
What are you doing here?
This is a Christmas parade. I'm Santa's helper.
Which would be really cool in this scenario, if he was actually helpful. Lizzie's family shows up to offer support and then immediately abandon her when Nobby starts talking to them like a white man who just learned Chinese on TikTok.
We're gonna have lunch with Nobby. He has the most incredible stories.
He knows a great Chinese place.
Dway, Mayo Chung.
Great, so her family abandons her for this random man. All she's got is her 13-year-old friend Gordo. Between the two of them, I'm sure they maybe know how to hammer a nail, use tape. And after a long day of float building, she gets home to cuss at her parents, but guess who's there? Apparently Nobby's pipes break in his retirement home, so he's staying with her family, because that's not weird. Meanwhile, Lizzie just needs help with this float, and this guy is taking all of her family's time. Even Gordo gets roped into helping Nobby.
What about my float, Gordo?
I'm sorry, Lizzie. It's just, well, I think fixing plumbing is a little more important.
Gordo is 13. What is he gonna do? Supervise? There's already 2 adults, an elderly man, and a child working on this man's pipes. It's a retirement home. Just call the maintenance. Poor Lizzie exhausts herself so much that she falls asleep making this float, and in her dreams, the ghost of Christmas Past, which is played by her parents' brother and Gordo, come to tell her how selfish she's being because she wants to make her float instead. Bleep that. Nobby is a selfish one. He's pulling her family away from her. Literally, it could have been a fun Christmas activity, them making a float, and instead they're working on his pipes. Okay, sure, she's doing this because she wants to win a ski trip, but I'm sure it's not for herself. She's a minor. They have to give her a ticket for a +1. But Lizzie ultimately feels bad and goes to help her parents.
Well, what about your float? It won't get done in time.
Yeah.
I know, but I shouldn't care about my float winning first prize. What matters is finding pipes the right size.
Yes, finding the right pipe size is the true meaning of Christmas. I'm so glad Lizzie learned that, and now her heart is unfrozen. The episode ends with Steven Tyler, the real Santa in this universe, singing on Lizzie's float, making it a rock and roll float. I don't know, seems kind of rigged to me, bringing a celebrity out so you can win. But anyway, Lizzie ends up on top. Ranking time. Plot. I give it a 2 out of 5. It was just a little confusing. 1, why was Steven Tyler randomly Santa? And 2, why did her parents care more about helping this random old man than their own daughter? Message. I give it a 2 out of 5. I don't feel like it was really strong. If I had to sum it up, it would be don't do competitive school activities during Christmas and ask your parents to help. I don't really know. Or maybe the message is always help strange old men who claim to be elves. Cringe. 3 out of 5. Entertainment value. 3 out of 5. I love the little cartoon version of her that says funny things. That was cute. But I just felt like the episode was a little messy in the sense that I just didn't think Lizzie was in the wrong here, and it kind of was pissing me off. So for that reason, I made it a little lower. Final score, 10 out of 20. Up next is That's So Raven. Raven Baxter is a teenage psychic who has visions about the future, which inform how she lives her life, and it ends in funny situations. In the beginning of this episode, she has a vision. She sees that her parents bought her a necklace for Christmas. She opens it because she can't help herself, and she brings it to school. She shows her friends Chelsea and Eddie, although he's not very impressed.
Listen, I'll have it back under the tree and my parents will never know, cause isn't it beautiful?
It's jewelry. I'm a guy which adds up to I don't care.
Lizzie, you're literally wearing a necklace. What do you mean you don't know anything about jewelry? Well, I rage about that. Chelsea tries on the necklace, can't get it off, so Eddie and Raven try to help her. It flies off, out the window, and of course, into a wood chipper that's just conveniently there. The window's open, there's no screen, there's a wood chipper directly below it. Sounds like Final Destination, or a lawsuit waiting to happen. But now with the necklace gone, the gang is in a pickle, so Raven concocts this plan that during school, they go to the mall and buy this necklace. After Raven secures the necklace, they decide to take a picture with the mall Santa, you know, just for funsies. And randomly, the mall Santa is their teacher? This just doesn't make any sense because they're skipping school to go to the mall, and their teacher is skipping as well to play Santa? That Santa salary must be substantial, but I guess it's not that great because when he sees Raven's face, he turns into the Terminator and chases her around the mall.
We gotta run.
Out of the way! Mole rats!
What is it with Disney Channel and this Terminator filter for Christmas episodes? Raven and her friends get away from her teacher, but the next day she has a vision that shows Santa is holding a picture of her and her friends, basically condemning her, saying that she has evidence that she was at the mall. Which is so weird though, because if her teacher wanted to condemn her, he doesn't need a picture, he could literally just call her parents and tell them. And because this is Disney Channel, the only way to get that picture back is to impersonate Santa.
Merry Christmas! Hold on, children. You waited a year, you can wait 5 more minutes.
And then, of course, her teacher catches her parents find out. It is not what actually happens. The writers really threw me for a loop with this one. Turns out Mall Santa was not actually her teacher. It was the real Santa, and he brings her back to the past before she opens the gift so she can make a better choice. But what does not make any sense right here is why the heck did the real Santa respond to their teacher's name when she took a picture with him? If he was the real Santa, why would he chase them around the mall? Nothing adds up here. But that's the end of the episode, so ranking time. Plot, 2 out of 5. I don't really feel like it was that exciting. Also, I'm not a fan of the mall episodes. There's only so much you can do in those. Message, 4 out of 5. It's not about the presents, it's about making the memories, because basically Santa explains at the end that she spent all this time trying to concoct a plan to get this necklace, and instead she missed out on celebrating with her family, which is nice. Cringe, 5 out of 5. Raven Simone is hilarious. No notes. Entertainment, 3 out of 5. Like I said, didn't really care for the plot, but Raven's just so good. Final score, 14 out of 20. Up next is A Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, one of my favorite pieces of media about twins in a hotel that's not The Shining. This show stars Cole. I'm weird, I'm a weirdo, I'm different, I don't fit in.
In case you haven't noticed, I'm weird. I'm a weirdo. I don't fit in.
And Dylan Wattpad Studio Sprouse. The story starts off on Christmas Eve at the Tipton. Everyone is congregating in the lobby because there's a huge snowstorm, and Arwen, the maintenance man, is about to turn the lights on the tree and also the lights on the outside of the building. Which is strange because this is the night before Christmas and you're just getting around to doing this. Disney resorts would never. But if that wasn't weird enough, after mere seconds of this tree being lit, Cody tightens a light bulb that shuts off the entirety of Boston's power grid. Cause that's probable. That sounds like a fake threat my parents would make to me as a kid. Like, Emily, don't touch the lights on the Christmas tree or you'll knock out the whole city's energy. People are gonna die. Right now, as the laugh track is running, there's people at Boston General Hospital just coding because their life support is shut off. But Cody's little mistake is okay because it's Christmas. And everyone knows nothing bad can happen on Christmas. Except for when it does. The twins' dad come to take them for the holiday, but the roads in the airport are closed, so their mom is forced to stay in with them. I don't know, that's kind of rough that you don't want to spend Christmas with your kids. I mean, I get it's your ex-husband, but still. Anyway, Zack and Cody don't think too much on this because Cody sees his parents hugging and immediately is convinced they're getting back together. Cody may be branded as the smarter twin, but he definitely is not in this instance.
But I've seen this in movies. Friendly hugs turn into very friendly hugs, which turn into passionate hugs.
While Cody is being delusional, downstairs in the lobby, there's a random side plot where a pregnant woman named Mary comes into the lobby and is seeking shelter, kind of like the nativity story. I know I keep bringing this up, but is Disney allowed to talk about religion? It just feels like biblical stories is kind of a taboo topic. Can you imagine an episode on Zack and Cody's political beliefs? Zack gets really into immigration and deports Esteban, their bellhop. Meanwhile, Cody sets up a Planned Parenthood in the elevator of the Tipton lobby. Okay, understandably, that plot would be way more insane than the nativity story, but still, it just seems like topics that Disney should stay away from. And the twins should really stay away from elevators. After Cody finds out that his parents are not getting back together, surprise, him and Zack end up in an elevator with a pregnant woman in labor.
I don't feel so well. You probably ate too much. She's pregnant, doofus.
Fortunately for this lady, the elevator gets going again, so she does not have to give birth in front of these two 13-year-old boys, who I'm sure are very qualified to help her. But unfortunately for her, the most qualified person to help her give birth is the hotel's manager, Mr. Mosby. And he pulls this 1-month-old looking clean baby from this lady's hoo-ha and immediately shows the whole lobby. Every expectant mother's dream. The episode comes to an end when they finish a side story where Maddie, the candy counter girl, gets a Secret Santa gift from London, the heiress, the daughter's owner of the Tipton. She was hoping for a car, maybe some jewelry, but instead London gets the idea to make her something handmade. Maddie hates this, but in the end, the baby blanket is Maddie's sweater that London made for her, and Maddie realizes, you know what, this was so nice of London to do for me, and hey, it was the first thing a baby got to wear coming into this world, which is disgusting. And as a display of goodwill, when Maddie gets the blanket back from the baby, covered in like hoo-ha juice, she puts it over her head to show London how much she likes it. Might not be sanitary, but it's Christmas, so I guess that makes it less gross. Ranking time. Plot, 3 to 5. There's just a little too many stories going on. You had Maddie and London's Secret Santa exchange, the boys and their parents, and then randomly this woman doing like the nativity story in the lobby. I don't know, I just didn't care about her. Message, 2 out of 5. If I had to sum it up, I would say if your parents are divorced, it's because of you, and Christmas will not change that. So not really an uplifting message. Cringe, 5 out of 5. It was great jokes. Entertainment value, 5 out of 5. I was laughing the whole time. Final score, 15 out of 20. Next up is Hannah Montana. This show was about a girl named Miley Stewart, you know, just your average, ordinary girl who happens to live in a multi-million-dollar mansion in Malibu on the beach. Oh, and also, she's a pop star. In this episode, she's at the mall with her friend Lily, and we see her friend Oliver turn down a girl.
Sorry, Sophie, I'm going out of town tonight. I'm doing some roadie work for this cool new band. The restroom's this way.
He says no to this girl for having big feet, despite him looking like a toe with helmet hair, which leads Miley to call him shallow and hit on his friend, but what she doesn't realize is his friend is fun-sized.
Yeah, face it, Oliver. Miley's just the bigger person.
Later, guys.
Sweet niblets. I got a date with a sweet niblet.
Miley tries to prove Oliver wrong and goes on a date with this guy, but as you can all guess, this does not go well. Which is why, kids, you should never be a good person when it comes to dating. If you don't find him attractive, move on to the next. My personal motto, if he's not 6'2", he's not for you. I'm kidding, of course, personality is really important too. Kinda. The disastrous date ends, he tries to kiss her, but she turns him down.
You know, I thought you were different.
I am different.
No, you're not. Good night, Miley.
The studio ooze of disappointment about her turning down the short king really get to her head, because when she goes inside, she has this very strange daydream about if she were a shorty.
Whoa, I didn't pay for half of Montana. I paid for the whole state.
Hey, I may be small, but I have a big voice. Not big enough.
Honestly, that roast was really good. They read her to filth. She was so bummed after that daydream that she had to go to the mall and apologize to Connor. But of course, he's dressed as an elf.
I won't crush kids' dreams like you crushed mine.
But Connor...
That's goodbye.
Please, Connor...
Security!
All right, keep...
I love that security is other elves. Nothing screams intimidation like Jingle Bells and tights. Miley fails the first time to apologize, but everyone knows in a Disney holiday special, there is only one way to make amends. Dress up in a sweaty mall costume. Connor eventually accepts Miley's apology, and she actually ends up asking him on a date, which I'm like, I don't know about that, because she says, oh, I'm attracted to you. I just had to get over the height. Yeah, girl, I don't believe you. And then at the end of the episode at home, everyone has a Christmas exchange, and we never see her boyfriend Connor in any future episodes, because she's not attracted to him. It's okay to be honest, Miley. Ranking time. Plot, 1 out of 5. What was that? An episode about giving short kings a chance? I just don't feel like that's very holiday-like. Message, 1 out of 5. Cringe, 2 out of 5. I forgot just how bad some of the writing was in Hannah Montana. Her dad could not act either. Every time he was on screen, it was just like watching a car crash. Entertainment value, 3 out of 5. I love the nostalgia of watching this one. This was my personal favorite one growing up, but I feel like some of the jokes just didn't land as hard as they did when I was like 10. Next up, we have Corey in the House, which is a spin-off of That's a Raven that stars Raven's little brother, Corey, and her dad in the White House as he is the head chef. There is a holiday episode. Unfortunately, it is not on Disney Plus because the lead actor, Kyle Massey, has criminal charges against him. Because I wasn't able to watch it, it unfortunately forfeits ranking, so on to the next. Next is The Sweet Life on Deck. We are back with Zach and Cody in their sequel series, where instead of being in a hotel, they're on a cruise ship. If you're confused about why Disney made a sequel series with literally the same characters with a different setting, it's because it's cheaper to do that. Did you know that after 3 seasons, they actually have to pay their workers more. Crazy. So they just rebrand and do a new show. Ethical. Anyway, this episode starts off with Cody and his ex-girlfriend Bailey, or at least I think she is, doing a donation toy drive for Christmas. Which seems nice, but given the circumstances of where they are, is very strange. People go on cruises for vacation. Where are they getting toys to drop off for these kids? Are you asking them to buy them on the ports that you guys stop at, or are you asking for hand-me-downs for things they brought on the cruise ship? I feel like this idea wasn't thought through. And then it gets even more pathetic because they go knocking on their friends' doors to ask for donations.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, I don't have anything for the orphans. Is there anything you can give? Yes! Some advice. You should really start doing some sit-ups, and I'd wax that upper lip if I were you.
Honestly, that's some great advice, and someone else has some advice for London. London goes to sleep and gets awoken by her mirror, voiced by the iconic Leslie Jordan, who asks her to step inside to see her Christmases of past, present, and future. I am so done with every single episode being a retelling of the Christmas Carol, but I'll give an exception for this one because London is Ebenezer Scrooge in this situation, and that's just amazing.
So, London, do you understand why I brought you back here?
Yeah, I do. So I could see that funny foot thing again!
As expected, she does not do any self-reflection in Christmas past, so the mirror takes her to Christmas present, where they're talking really badly about her. She feels bad about it for maybe 1 second, and then when a rabid squirrel attacks Mr. Mosby on a cruise ship, in the middle of the ocean by the way, she's loving it, forgets all about that. The only thing she's self-reflecting in is the mirror. And of course, finally she gets to the future, sees that she's all alone, and has an actual moment of self-reflection. The episode ends with London giving away her gifts to the kids, but it's very confusing because she donates them to this drive for orphans? Why are there orphans on this boat? That just seems like a really bad place to put an orphanage. Ranking time, plot, 4 out of 5. I didn't want to score it lower just because I had been jaded by the other ones before it, because I actually really enjoyed this. I liked the take of London being Ebenezer Scrooge, but still a little tired. Message, 3 out of 5. You know, it's the classic Christmas message. It's better to give than receive. Cringe, 4 out of 5. Sometimes Cody would speak and I would just shake my head because some of those lines are just diabolical. But London's lines? Spectacular. Entertainment value, 5 out of 5. I was watching this one at midnight, so I was really trying to get through it. But here's the thing, I didn't skip anything because I actually was so entertained. I was laughing throughout the whole thing. Final score, 16 out of 20. And the last show in the classic Disney era is Sonny with a Chance. This one stars Demi Lovato, who plays Sonny, a girl from Wisconsin who's very funny. She goes to star, oh, sorry, that rhyme was just too good. She goes to star in this sketch show called So Random, and it's basically like SNL, but 1,000 times worse.
Candy cane! Cookie! Candy cane! Turkey!
The first sketch, they're shaving Santa's beard and finding random things in it, which was painfully unfunny. I honestly wanted to stop the episode and turn it off right there, but I didn't. Wish I did, but I kept going for you guys. For the next sketch, Chad Dillon Cooper, who is a heartthrob in this universe, does an opening monologue, like, you know how all the celebrities do it on SNL? His is kind of like Harry Styles, except this one is so unfunny, it goes over as well as COVID. But the torture doesn't stop here, folks, because Sonny performs a sketch song that makes me want to lay in traffic.
Ah, the first day of sickness, Alex Bizaardvark gave to me.
I am so sorry you had to even watch 6 seconds of this. I am so convinced that this sketch alone is why Demi Lovato went crazy when she was younger. I would probably also need rehab after this one. For the next sketch, because there's more, special guest Nick Jonas is kidnapped and given to a little girl for Christmas. Kind of like One Direction fanfic, but reverse. Now, I don't have a problem with this sketch, but I do want to know why Joe is talking like Nick places his mouth to sing Red Face. Just watch.
The Joe Jonas Beach House.
Oh, come on, I just got my brothers to move out of there.
Like, tell me I'm wrong, but do it quickly because there's still more sketches. Next, they do a Real Housewives of New Jersey sketch that is literally a ripoff of a real SNL sketch.
Mirror, mirror in the can. Did she spend at least $1,000?
Honestly, love the idea for this one, but the execution did feel like I was being executed. And after this sketch, Sonny is still singing that horrible Sickmas song. I'm not gonna show it again. I wouldn't torture you like that. Finally, we made it to the last sketch, and it's a Joe-nastics workout video, which honestly, kind of like the idea. That's a fun vibe. But here's the thing, there was one joke they could make, one joke that everyone wants to see, and they completely missed it. Why didn't they include the Disney knees as a form of exercise that Joe Jonas would do? That would have been hysterical. Let me be clear, would have been hysterical. I did not find anything in this special remotely funny. Finally, it ends, thank God, with Sonny being a musical guest with Joe Jonas, which is weird because she's also a cast member, but at least no one is doing a sketch. And that is a Christmas miracle. Ranking time, plot, 0 out of 5. Message, 0 out of 5. I guess if I had to sum it up, it would be if you want to laugh, don't watch this on Christmas. Cringe, 0 out of 5. The worst thing I've ever watched on Disney Channel. Entertainment value, 0 out of 5. I wanted to shut it off after 27 seconds. That's a new record. Final ranking, 0 out of 20. Hey subscribers, I'm so proud of you for making it to this part of the video. If you need to use the bathroom, take a little stretch, go for it. And if you don't have popcorn and a bevy, good luck, Charlie. The Kidz Bop Era starts off with Good Luck Charlie. This show is about a girl named Teddy Duncan who has a 15-year age gap with her youngest sister, Charlie. She does an ongoing video documentary where she tells her about things in her life and lessons she learns from them in hopes that Charlie doesn't also experience the same things. This episode starts off with two of my most hated characters. The first one being Amy Duncan, the attention-seeking mom. And next is Teddy's cheating boyfriend. This poor girl cannot catch a break, but he doesn't have wandering eyes in this one because it's Christmas after all. Teddy and the dirtbag she's dating decide to take Charlie to the mall to meet Santa. Meanwhile, another villain enters the scene, Grandma.
Charlie, what do you have to say to Grandma?
Goodbye.
Sorry. Oh, she's just excited. We're off to have her very first picture taken with Santa.
Whoa, Emily, give the woman a chance. She didn't do anything. Give it a second. She's about to be Amy Duncan 2.0.
But everybody on the plane loved the song that I'm going to sing at the talent show. Deck the halls with boughs of holly.
Oh, whoa. Hang on there, Grandma. I'm singing Deck the Halls.
If this show was Glee, both of them would be Rachel Berry. But fortunately, they're not the main characters, so we don't have to harp on them much longer. In the kitchen, Bob Duncan, the dad, is having trouble getting his wife a Christmas gift that matches the same price point she got for him. But wait, why does that fridge say choke miss? Anyway, PJ, the oldest brother, agrees to help his dad. Meanwhile, Teddy's back at the mall with Charlie.
I know that you're tired and you're hungry and your feet are cold, but all this whining doesn't help.
It's taking so long.
Well, maybe your feet wouldn't hurt so much if you had a spine. God, I hate that I used to think he was cute. Also, again, I know he's an actor, but here's the thing. In real life, according to Twitter, and we know Twitter's never wrong, he allegedly cheated on her in real life, so I don't know, maybe he was just method acting really hard for this role. Back to the show, Teddy's life gets even worse because she doesn't check when Santa goes on his break and now has to wait another hour.
Back in 1 hour? You can't do that.
Sorry, Missy, I get a 1 hour break every 4 hours I work. Union rules.
What union?
HAG, Holiday Actors Guild.
Honestly, I'm with Teddy on this one. It's the worker's job to have stopped the line before he goes on his break so no one has to wait an extra hour for him. But what I'm not with Teddy on is what she does next.
Oh, Teddy?
Teddy is understandably arrested after that fit of fury because that was assault. This is the first holiday arrest in any of these episodes, so I am enjoying the jolly jail cell. I hope the next scene she goes to candy cane court and gets convicted. You know, you gotta teach kids about the criminal justice system young.
How much longer do I have to stay in here?
You aren't going anywhere till we have a trial. Can't have a trial till the judge gets here.
Okay, psychic. Call me Raven Baxter. I called that plot point. Although I was kind of hoping it would be more holiday themed and maybe more fair. You know, she would spend some hard time in a real jail cell.
My verdict is guilty.
Yeah!
You're guilty.
Me? I'm not on trial here.
I've never liked you, Carl.
I honestly did not think it would go this way, but hey, this is a great lesson for kids. If you have friends in high places, you can avoid jail time. This next scene made me wish I was in jail.
Strike the harp and join the chorus. La 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 la. Follow me in merry measure.
Well, at least they were insufferable together, so we didn't have to sit through 2 songs. And the next song we get is from Teddy and her rat boyfriend. Would be really nice if he wasn't singing. I can't look at him. Cut to Christmas morning. Bob ends up getting Amy a beautiful bracelet, and she's ungrateful for it. Classic Amy. And her sons steal the gift that her dad got her originally and pass it off as their own. And guess what? She loves it, because she sucks. Bob, I'm speaking directly to you right now. Get her the gift that keeps on giving, and next year, serve her divorce papers. Please. For everyone's sake. Finally, it wouldn't be a Good Luck Charlie episode without a vlog wrap-up from Teddy.
Hey, any chance I could say good luck, Charlie? I've never said it before.
Oh, yeah, sure, of course. Good luck, Charlie.
And Teddy's mom, because she just can't help herself. If I had to do this vlog every day, it would literally be like, hey Charlie, your mom sucks. Good luck, Charlie. Literally every day. Ranking time. Plot 2.5. Nothing new here. Message 3 out of 5. Put grievances aside for Christmas. I can get behind that. Cringe 3 out of 5. The jokes honestly weren't that bad, but sometimes they got a little too silly. Entertainment value 2 out of 5. Honestly, if the mom wasn't in the show, I probably would have scored it higher. Final score 10.5 out of 20. Next is Shake It Up. Cece and Rocky are teen dancers on this local dance show called Shake It Up Chicago. This episode starts off with Cece in the kitchen with her mom. Her mom hints that she wants a scarf now that Cece makes real money on this dance show. And now it's up to Cece to go to the mall and get it for her. But does she do that? Nope, you guessed it, she buys herself a bag, and this girl lacks so much common sense that instead of just returning it and getting her money back because now she can't afford anything else, she's determined determined to keep it, so she gets a job for Christmas.
Oh, and by the way, he's got the real Santa Claus locked up in that gingerbread house over there. The key is hidden in his beard.
Within 5 minutes, she gets herself fired. I knew this was gonna happen. And she gets another job. Somehow, I don't know how she's finding jobs these fast. Indeed does not work for me like this. In front of a cardboard cutout sleigh as a reindeer, because people are definitely hiring for that. However, her mom sees her and is immediately able to discern that she's doing this because she spent all the money on herself. I'm frightened that this is a pattern for this girl. She's like, what, 15? And I'm also confused on why this is a plot line. I just returned the bag. Why are you embarrassing yourself like this? And then there's this random side story about this guy and his girlfriend. She's kind of like Janice from Friends, and when she sings, she sounds like Janice from Friends, and so the choir doesn't want to involve her, so he comes up with this line.
Hello? What's that? The fountain at the mall overflowed and the stage got flooded and it's underwater? So there's no show whatsoever?
Yeah, so this lie does not fool her whatsoever because she isn't a child or brain dead. She catches the choir doing the performance without her, and then immediately that's resolved, and then we get Santa's dancing? I mean, they were pretty good, but that was just so random. Cece and Rocky aren't even in the dance. The episode ends with Cece and her family opening Christmas gifts, and Rocky is just there? Rocky has her own family. What is she doing with the Jones? Anyway, the mom gets a call because she's a cop. And apparently there was a robbery last night. The family lost all the gifts, so the mom suggests, hey, why don't we give them our gifts? And Cece has these words to say.
Yes, God bless us, everyone. I meant, Mom, could you please give them my purse?
How touching. She really learned the true meaning of Christmas. Ranking time. Plot, 2 out of 5. I just felt like Cece being selfish was not a great plot. Message, 2 out of 5. I guess it's gifts don't matter and don't lie. Cringe, 3 out of 5. Cece was very annoying, but the jokes landed. Entertainment value, 2 out of 5. The dancing Santas were really cool, but the plot was kind of unoriginal. Final score, 9 out of 20. Next up is Ant Farm. China and her friends are part of this thing called ANTs, or Advanced Natural Talents. And I think they're like in middle school, but maybe this takes place in high school because they're just so advanced. In this episode, the ants have to make Christmas gifts for orphans per request of their principal, but she never specifies what toy she wants, so it's up to 3 11-year-olds, okay, so maybe this is middle school, with the aptitude of singing, economics, and art to figure out how to make toys for all these orphans.
True, children love dead artists and pee. But maybe we could come up with a few other ideas.
The line "children love dead artists and pee" is crazy out of context. Anyway, the ants decide to make a Jack-in-the-Box. Meanwhile, China's dad is stalking her mom in the mall to make sure that she doesn't get him a more expensive gift than he gets for her. So kind of like Good Luck Charlie. I mean, he could just ask what her budget is, but that would be too simple. Stalking is much better. Back in school, the ants find out that the principal has lied to them and is actually selling the toy she made them make for personal profit. That is incredibly unethical, but also, I gotta respect the hustle. Someone get this principal one of those TJ Maxx plaques for your desk that says Boss Babe. Meanwhile, back at the mall, the dad is so desperate to spy on his wife that he gets a job as Santa.
Dad, you promised I'd never have to dress like an elf again.
I know, but I need your help for a top secret police investigation.
How are you even supposed to see what she's doing when you're stuck in a chair and having to work? You can't focus. Also, just hack into her bank account. All right, save your son the public embarrassment. Meanwhile, back in the other storyline, the ants have to sneak into an orphanage because their principal decides to be a good person all of a sudden and donates the toys. But what she doesn't realize is that the ants have already rigged the toys with pie bombs. I love that this plotline is not original, which is crazy because this reminds me of an episode of SpongeBob, you know the one, where Squidward buys SpongeBob a pie, but doesn't realize it's a bomb pie. And then he spends the whole day doing whatever SpongeBob wants because he thinks he's gonna die. Back in the mall, Dad gets caught by Mom and gets whacked with a candy cane, honestly karma. And in the orphanage, the toys explode and the orphans love it.
These are the greatest toys ever. Thank you so much.
See, China was right. Children love dead artists pee and apparently explosions. Ranking time. Plot, 1 out of 5. Exploiting children for financial gain and stalking your wife. I don't know about that. Message, 1 out of 5. Don't stalk your wife. Children love explosions. I don't know. There wasn't really anything there. Cringe, 4 out of 5. I thought it was mostly well written, but some of the gags were kind of tired. Entertainment value, 2 out of 5. Final score, 8 out of 20. Up next, we have Jessie, a show about a nanny from some country place living in Manhattan working as some rich kid's nanny. But this one is a crossover episode episode, so PJ and Teddy Duncan from Good Luck Charlie are also in this. The episode starts out with Teddy and PJ finding themselves in the apartment with Jessie. Literally no one explains how they know each other. Jessie says that she found them on the street, so are they strangers? Everything about this is very weird. Also, they're all minors, so I don't understand why they're in New York City without their family. Anyway, they wake up in all weird positions, like everyone was blackout drunk somehow, and no one remembers anything.
Why can't any of us remember last night?
Judging from my notes, it appears I mixed a compound which exploded into a toxic vapor that put us to sleep and caused a retroactive memory blackout.
Let's start off with the fact that Jessie is a terrible nanny. She invites strangers into her house. Ravi somehow concocts a poison vapor that just not kills them, but puts them all to sleep, and PJ wakes up next to a reindeer. Is this The Hangover for kids? Because that's a crazy Christmas episode idea. Like in The Hangover, they retrace their steps to figure out what happened that night, so they embark on this holiday scavenger hunt that Jessie remembers she set up for them. They look at security footage, and Jessie remembers that she put the presents in a locker in a skating rink in Central Park, and they go there, but they find something else.
I've spent the entire night wedged inside this stinky locker. I'll never be able to go to the gym again.
Again?
The butler Bertram spent his whole night lodged in a locker in cold Central Park. I would be destroyed. I would have trauma for the rest of my life. I do not care if Jessie was poisoned by Ravi. I would sue her so fast for emotional damages. But the kids could care less about Bertram, and they go right past him, shoving him into a locker, and go to the locker which holds their presents. I don't want to blame Jessie for the kids' behavior, but also you're with them the most. Why are you letting them act like this? Then we find out that Zuri and Teddy are wanted for reindeer theft because no one would notice them walking in the city with a reindeer. The episode ends when they bring the reindeer back, but what's this? The original singer can't do the benefit concert anymore because he blew out his voice looking for the reindeer? Oh, I guess we'll have to, I don't know, call it off or maybe call in a professional. No, we're gonna ask Jessie without even auditioning her. It'll be great. And of course she pulls it off, the kids are happy, you know how these things go. Ranking time, plot, 3 out of 5. Message, 1 out of 5. I really couldn't discern what it is. Be grateful, cringe, 3 out of 5. If Teddy was not in this episode, it would have been 0 out of 5. Entertainment value, 2 out of 5. Final score, 9 out of 20. Next is Austin and Allie. These two are singer-songwriter partners who live in Miami Beach, Florida and get into all kind of crazy situations with their best friends Des and Trish. This episode starts off with Trish trying to get a job promotion and she's hiring for Santa. Des, who looks like he should be on America's Next Top Model during the skinny days, shows up to audition for Santa.
I don't care about the money. I'm just here to bring joy to kids and wear a really cool fat suit.
Just based off of him saying that, I would not hire him because that is incredibly weird. Dez's rival Chuck also shows up for the Santa's audition and Trish has the great idea to exploit them both for free labor. Back at the music shop, Austin and Allie are caught under the mistletoe, but of course, Des and Trish ruin it by coming in with these new Austin dolls they're planning to give out at the party tonight. Yes, because every kid wants a no-neck, wrinkly, post-mortem, sun-poisoning looking Austin doll. Even without the hair mess up, these dolls look like a washed-up reality TV star with bad plastic surgery. But the gang fixes them up all night in Allie's workshop because I'm sure their parents were okay with that. And once they finish, Des celebrates by hurling a slur at a little person.
Hey, look! One of Santa's helpers is here with more.
For the last time, kid. I don't work at the North Pole. I'm just a delivery guy.
And Dez's reign of terror continues when he reads Allie to filth.
Hey guys, I just realized something.
That it's way too long past Labor Day to be wearing that white top.
Everything is going fine until Allie finds out that the dolls pee. Apparently they were made in the same factory as Baby Alive dolls. And now Austin is about to ruin Christmas for underprivileged children. Why is this the second episode with dolls peeing? I mean, I love a good urine joke just as much as the next guy, but do we really need 2 episodes with this little plot line?
Those dolls don't just look cool. For a real surprise, press the button.
Of course, the party devolves into chaos. Santas are fighting, decorations are coming down, orphans are screaming and crying. But Austin and Allie have a plan to save the day the only way they know how. With the song so generic, it saves Christmas.
Tell me, can you tell me?
The one that never gets here fast enough.
Wait, you see that Blanco right there, whose face is so over listening to them sing the song right now? That is me with this whole episode. Finally, it ends with Austin and Allie kissing under the mistletoe. Nope, that doesn't happen. Des also intercepts that one. At this point, I think Austin and Allie should break up, or maybe Austin should date Des, because Des clearly has a thing for him. I think that's why he hates Allie so much. Ranking time. Plot, 1 out of 5. I don't even know what I just watched. Message, 1 out of 5. Christmas is only about toys, or maybe don't date someone you're not attracted to. Cringe, 2 out of 5. Entertainment value, value, 2 out of 5. Final score, 6 out of 20. Next up is Dog with a Blog. This show is about a blended family that has a talking dog that also has, you guessed it, a blog. Yes, it is as stupid as it sounds, but it's got a holiday episode, so get some dog biscuits out, pry your eyes open, because we're about to watch this. The episode starts off with terrible news for the mom. Her sister is coming into town for Christmas, and now the 11-year-old daughter is forced to find a way to make this the best Christmas ever so that the aunt has nothing to criticize. But the talking dog with a blog, he's got other plans.
You can get through the few hours that she's here without crying? I mean, it'll be like a marathoner finishing a race, like a boxer going the distance.
Stan invites a stray Shih Tzu into their home for Christmas, and of course the parents don't suspect a thing.
Anyway, you may want to steer clear of Avery with any of your little doggy surprises.
Whoa, wait a minute. Are you saying no little surprises from me as a doggy, or no surprises involving a little doggy?
Okay, I cannot take this seriously right now. Imagine being that actor and having to carry out a conversation with a dog in front of a live studio audience. Be so for real right now. And to make matters worse, this dog has more scenes than the humans. Imagine being a supporting actor to a dog, and I bet he gets paid more too. And then of course, Stan's little friend tracks mud into the house, which leads to the kids finding out about the dog.
I took in a stray for Christmas and he got out.
Oh, what's your name, little guy?
My name's Sparky. Nah, I'm just kidding. He doesn't talk.
I'm very confused by this world. Why is Stan the only dog that can speak? Were they taking him out for a walk and there was, I don't know, like a nuclear explosion or something? Or is the family having hallucinations from carbon monoxide poisoning? Now that would be a good finale if we find out the real reason they can hear him talk. But anyway, the kids decide to help Stan hide this dog from their parents. And somehow he ends up in the middle of a cooked turkey. Okay, maybe this dog can talk, but his superpower is definitely withstanding heats over 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Listen, I know that the dog talking is, you know, far-fetched, but this little dog coming out of a cooked turkey, that is another level of nonsense. But somehow this chaos does the trick because the aunt is reduced to tears because she wishes she had a family and crazy things that happen like this, which makes the mom very happy. Not sadistic at all. Ranking time. Plot, 3 out of 5. I like that there were 2 plots that felt cohesive with each other. Message, 4 out of 5. Having loved ones is the greatest blessing. Cringe, 2 out of 5. The talking dog was like living with Jerry Seinfeld. I was very disturbed. Entertainment, 2 out of 5. I did not find this very funny at all, but it was at least original. Final score, 13 out of 20. Next up is Liv and Maddie. They are identical twins, but they have dissimilar interests. Liv is a girly girl, burgeoning pop star, and Maddie likes basketball. I kind of feel bad for Maddie. I feel like they could have given her a more exciting interest when her sister is literally like a almost famous pop star. But anyway, this is the Rooney's first Christmas after moving from cold Wisconsin to sunny California, and Maddie is having a little hard time getting into the holiday. So Liv comes up with an idea to throw a Wisconsin Christmas, whatever that means. And somehow that includes inviting Maddie's long distance boyfriend Diggy so he can bring food from Wisconsin from like a burger place. Can he even get brisket through TSA? Can't harp on that too much because we skip to their brother Joey competing in the Santa contest, but he loses to Magic Mike. Didn't realize that was a possibility. Back in the house, Liv is trying to surprise Maddie with Diggy, but their brother Joey takes everything from their house to win this Santa contest, which includes Maddie's boyfriend who is hidden in a giant box. I'm just so impressed that the brother had the strength to take not only everything in the house, but also this grown man inside a box and not even question what was inside. But Maddie does find her gift Diggy at the mall and they run off into the sunset to eat beef together.
Maddie, it's December 23rd. It's sunny. The birds are singing and there are dolphins. Tell me again why you're homesick?
I'm with him. They are millionaires living waterfront in sunny Southern California. If Maddie wants to take a trip to Wisconsin, I think she can afford it. Ranking time. Plot, 3 out of 5. Message, 2 out of 5. It kind of just felt like it was California is way better than Wisconsin. Cringe, 2 out of 5. The brother Joey made me sigh every time he opened his mouth. Entertainment value, 2 out of 5. Final score, 9 out of 20. Next up is I Didn't Do It. This is a sitcom about 2 fraternal twins who somehow have the same friend group and get into shenanigans. Sounds like a riveting plot. Anyway, the episode starts off with Logan, the twin brother, getting chastised by Meghan Trainor. I mean, it's his mom, but do they not look identical? It's honestly crazy. He gets chastised because he knocks down a chandelier with a skateboard and now he cannot go on a ski trip. While he's whining about that, Lindy, the other girl twin, invites her weird friends over for a tree trimming party. Do people throw parties for that? I can't tell whether that's so bougie and that's why I've never heard of it, or it's so podunk that they only do that in really small towns. Either way, this party looks about as lively as a retirement home. But somehow the twins get into a fight over seemingly nothing, and instead of Logan just calling his sister some stupid name, Rat Bud, I don't know, they say weird things on Disney Channel, he wishes she was never born.
You ruined everything. I wish you weren't even my sister. Oh.
Son, are you okay?
I think I've seen this film before, and I didn't like the ending. Okay, so now we've got another Christmas Carol plot where someone wishes they weren't born. But the first instance of this was Even Stevens, which was 2000. I believe this is 2018, so I think enough time has passed to use it again. And I mean, we know how this is gonna end. He's gonna realize that having a sister in his life is good. They're gonna make up. I really hope that it goes the opposite way. I hope he realizes his life is so good without a sister, and then he never goes back to how it was. And then the whole show changes. The girl gets fired, and it's just Logan. Could be fun. At first, Logan is super into not having a sister, but then he starts having his doubts when his friends are now dirty, a delinquent, and a cheerleader. I love that being a cheerleader is just thrown into that category, like it's just as bad as the other two. But honestly, the friend thing doesn't get to him at all. It's not until his parents say that they don't celebrate Christmas until he really repents.
You see, Logan, without Lindy,
oh, don't bother. I get it. I need Lindy. Okay, I want my sister back. I miss her.
I'm not liking Logan's motives here, guys. All right, his friends, who cares about them? But the moment he doesn't get gifts, it's the end of the world. Logan is less fueled by the spirit of Christmas and more fueled by the spirit of consumerism. But whatever motivates him, because he has to ask the guardian angel plumber dude, whatever, how to get back to his regular universe, and he finds out that he has to recreate the entire party from when his sister pushed him. But there's a huge plot hole here because his friends don't really know him in this universe, but yet he manages to get them all to his house. But we're gonna buzz past that because Logan ends up recreating the fighting with his not sister in this universe, and then the whole episode ends with a nice song in Karshife.
Brown yon virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender.
Brown yon virgin mother and child. Final ranking. Plot, 2 out of 5. Message, 0 out of 5. Don't wish your sister away, that's stupid. Cringe, 3 out of 5. Entertainment value, 1 out of 5. Final score, 6 out of 20. Next up, we have Girl Meets World. This is a spin-off of Boy Meets World, and in this one, the original character's daughter now has her own wacky adventures with her best friend Maya, played by Sabrina Carpenter. The episode starts off with the dad's family coming over for Christmas, but the only person he cares about coming is his best friend Sean.
Oh, what's the matter? Your boyfriend's not here yet?
He's not my boyfriend!
Oh, then what are we going to do with this Corey and Sean forever ornament?
I know it's nice to see friends that you haven't seen in a while, but this feels excessive. It's giving more friends to lovers vibes than long distance friends.
Because Corey and I are the best friends in all of existence, which includes your little crummy planet. Corey and I finish each other's sentences!
I can't tell if the dad was waiting to finish that sentence, or he thought Corey was gonna say something inappropriate, so he said sentence in that sort of intonation. Either way, it's very sus. Anyway, from that interaction, we learned that they are very close friends, which is why Riley can't figure out why her dad's best friend hates her. I don't know, maybe it's because you say things like this.
What's my favorite color?
Riley, that stuff doesn't matter.
It does matter. Tell us what you know.
Girls, Sean knows Riley's birthday.
How do you know?
He knows.
Why would he know that, Riley? He's not your dad. And then if it isn't already incredibly uncomfortable enough, Sean takes the girls by himself to a diner to answer their questions. Could have just done that at home. And you guessed it, yet again, Riley makes things incredibly uncomfortable.
Every time you see me, does it remind you of what you don't have?
Oh my god, Riley! I feel like hitting him in the face with a bat might have been softer than that delivery. Yeah, great idea. Remind the guy that he's single and childless on Christmas. Or maybe you're not saying that. Are you suggesting he should be with your father? Back at the apartment, Maya has a heart-to-heart with Sean, which is incredibly weird. She's in this room with this random man all alone. And then they have this strange discourse, which I can only call the Oppression Olympics, because they keep trying to outdo each other with which one of their lives is worse than the other. And somehow all of this results in Sean asking 13-year-old Riley and her best friend to go on a trip with him. That's not creepy at all. Ranking time. Plot, 1 out of 5. Estranged uncle comes home and has to explain why he doesn't like his best friend's daughter. That's weird. Message, 2 out of 5. Best friends should both have families so one doesn't feel left out. I don't know. It doesn't feel holiday specific. Cringe, 1 out of 5. This was incredibly uncomfortable. There was no sound under this entire episode. So many dramatic pauses. And to make things worse, the dad was acting like a golden retriever the entire time. He was just way too excited about everything. Entertainment value, 1 out of 5. There was way too much drama and none of it was good. You know, give me a medical emergency. Give me someone having an affair. Well, maybe not having an affair in a Disney Channel show, but not a 13-year-old instigating a 40-year-old man why he doesn't like her. That made me uncomfy. Final score, 5 out of 20. Next up is Casey Undercover. This show stars Zendaya as Casey Cooper, a girl living in Washington, D.C. with her mom, dad, brother, robot sister, and wait, did I mention? They're all spies. Casey is known for giving great gifts. Except for this year, when she flies her estranged grandpa into town and her dad loses his ever-living mind. Gramps doesn't know the family are spies and thinks the dad is like a deadbeat. Meanwhile, he's an accountant. That is not a bad job. I'd love to know what Gramps thinks about my job. But fortunately for Dad, he's got an escape because the Coopers are called in for a secret mission on Christmas Eve.
It's mission time. Discreetly get everyone upstairs. Oh, sugar! I forgot to get those special ornaments from the attic.
Turns out the Bill of Rights is planning to be stolen, and they have to stop it. Is this National Treasure with Nick Cage? They act like this is such a minor inconvenience on Christmas Eve, not a national security threat. And if you think that's crazy, Casey's brother hacks into the National Airport Security List and puts their grandpa on the no-fly list so he can't leave. But it doesn't matter because their time together gets cut short because Casey and her family have to shoot up the National Archives. This is crazy! Casey kills a guy and gets shot herself. Meanwhile, Gramps walks up to the place and is like, what is going on? I have never been this shocked watching any Disney scene. I guess because it's lasers, they're allowed to show guns, but still, this is crazy. Casey just killed a guy. With the exception of Some Things a Miraculous Ladybug, this might be the wildest plotline I've ever seen in a kids show. These minors are doing crazy, dangerous activities, and Disney Channel is like, yeah, that'll be good for the kids. But I guess it was worth it because the grandpa finally says this.
I'm really proud of you, son.
And then immediately gets his memory wiped, erases all of the work that was done during the course of the episode. Ranking time. Plot. 5 out of 5. I don't know where they came up with that. It was great. Message. 2 out of 5. Don't try to please your dad. Cringe. 4 out of 5. Entertainment value. 5 out of 5. I was riveted. Final score. 16 out of 20. Next up, we have Best Friends Whenever. This show is about best friends, as the title suggests, Sid and Shelby, who have the power to travel through time when they put their hands together. And through that, they get into wacky situations. But then it gets weird when their neighbor, who I'm pretty sure is a princess of a foreign country, I don't know why she's living in Portland, Oregon, not the point, brings them a newer goat to the party.
A Yolvakin! You know, the Christmas goat in my kingdom. It was always displayed to ensure you had a great holiday feast. Do you like it?
It's creepy and stinky and repulsive. I love it!
Way to be supportive of other cultures. I dare you to say that same sentence in their country. But Sid may not get that chance because in trying to hide this figurine from the Christmas party, she breaks it and unleashes a curse into her home. I've never had a proper curse unleashed in my home, but I have had men walk in with very heavy cologne, and that feels similar. While the apocalypse is happening in the house, the twin brothers kidnap, torture, and interrogate Santa that they found in the mall. Just boys being boys. Back at the party, the girls decide the only way to save the soiree is to just jump back in time. But for some unexplained reason, their powers don't work. By the end of the episode, the girls are convinced that all the disasters that are happening at the party add to the lore, making it a good party, and so they don't even use their powers at all, which is pretty lame. Ranking time. Plot. 1 out of 5. They have the power to travel through time. They could have gone through Christmases of like 600 years ago. They could have met baby Jesus in the manger, and instead they had a disastrous Christmas party. Message. 1 out of 5. Things not working out creates lore. Cringe. 2 out of 5. Entertainment value. 1 out of 5. Final score. 5 out of 20. Next up, we have Bunk'd. This is a sequel to the show Jessie, where 3 of the kids go to summer camp and act up. This episode starts with the arrival of Santa Claus in a Hawaiian shirt that calls forth a young child to watch his reindeer. So many things about this already don't make sense. Why did the kid instantly know that was Santa? And why did the guy entrust this young child with a large wild animal? My questions never get answered, but now the kids have this reindeer that they're playing with unsupervised in a barn that just happens to be at the summer camp. Although I stand corrected, there are adults at the summer camp, 1 in fact, and she's elsewhere interrogating a little boy about why he made a toy with a saw blade on it.
On Tiffany! On Harold! Come on, boy! You can do it!
I can't believe this reindeer didn't bite these kids yet, and also, they're a little too old to be thinking that this reindeer is actually gonna fly. By the age of 11, I knew a lot of things, okay? And I know these kids have the internet. I'm pretty sure they know the deal by now. And if you're watching this, guys, and you don't know what I'm talking about, good luck, Charlie. And back to the Dangerous Boy storyline, we find out the real reason this kid made a saw robot.
You hate Christmas? Why?
Because Christmas in Juvie stunk. All we got was extra visitation time, but I didn't have anyone to come visit me.
That was not the answer I was expecting. Also, how is he allowed to go to this camp when there's kids whose parents, I'm sure, are like billionaires here? Maybe he's just really rich, so it doesn't matter. But also, if you knew he had a criminal past, why would you allow him near a saw blade? On the reindeer side of things, apparently I know nothing because Jorge tells the reindeer all he's gotta do is believe, and would you know it, he flies. And finally, the episode ends with the campers throwing the Juvie kid a fake Christmas so that he doesn't grow up to be a serial killer. Ranking time. Plot. 1 out of 5. Message. 1 out of 5. Be nice to kids in Juvie and believe people when they say they're Santa. nostalgia. Cringe, 2 out of 5. Entertainment value, 1 out of 5. Final score, 5 out of 20. Next up, we have Stuck in the Middle, starring Jenna Ortega. She plays Harley Diaz, the middle child of 7 children. I really think the parents need some hobbies because in this economy, that is insane. The episode starts off with the kids making pasteles. If you're wondering why I'm so good at saying that, it's because Jenna Ortega literally says that 6 times within the first minute of this episode. But even though Harley can say pasteles, she can't make them correctly, so she calls her abuela and asks how long to put them on for, but then realizes that her abuela hasn't asked if they're coming to see her for Christmas, which means that she stopped caring about them, she's sad and alone, and completely given up on her family. I literally think the grandma is just over asking, but Harley gets the idea to forfeit her siblings' gift and have them go to see her grandma in Florida. And her siblings are not happy about this.
The other kids are good with this?
You want us to give up our pool table?
Dang, this family needs to learn the true meaning of Christmas. That's really rough that you'd rather have a pool table than see your grandma. But the kids feel slighted when they hear that grandma didn't ask for them this year. So to spite her, they say, you know what? We're in, let's go.
Last minute tickets, kids can't sit in exit rows.
You didn't even try, did you?
The kids are locked in a tube with paid babysitters. We got aisle seats and you're gonna question this?
Ugh, I hate parents like this. Your 7 kids are running amok on this airplane and you deliberately got seats away from them. Flight attendants are not babysitters. And things get even worse because of bad weather. They have to land in the worst place imaginable, Ohio. Of course, there's no flights, and now they have to drive to Florida in a rental car that is the worst choice of vehicle for a family of 8. But fortunately, there is actually one other car in the lot. A tour bus with a full recording studio, because I'm sure that's in their budget. The Diazes are either really rich or up to their eyeballs in credit card debt. But before I do some detective work on what their credit score is, the little sister has an emergency. Her stupid doll was left in the rental car, and now they have to drive 60 miles backwards to retrieve it. This doll better be hiding gold bars in its head because that is crazy. The episode ends with a flat tire and a cliffhanger, but we only watched first episodes here, so I guess we'll never know what happens. Ranking. Plot, 3 out of 5. It was something different. Message, 2 out of 5. A perfect Christmas is one spent with family. Cringe, 2 out of 5. Entertainment value, 3 out of 5. I actually like the way it was filmed. It's very different than other Disney Channel shows. This one almost feels like watching a movie. Final score, 10 out of 20. Next up, we have Bizaardvark, which is kind of like a ripoff of iCarly. It has Frankie and Paige, played by Olivia Rodrigo, and they are basically YouTubers, but in this sense, they're part of this place called Voogle, like Google, and they're given their own studio within Voogle to create their weird music videos. In this episode, Voogle is sponsoring a Christmas party, but the CEO discovers the story of Christmas Carol and is so inspired by Scrooge, he decides to cancel it.
You've known me for almost 2 years, and your argument is, what about the kids? Oh, Paige. Bah humbug.
But fortunately for everyone involved, the solution here to keep the party going seemed fairly obvious. Naturally, they decide to turn off Robot Liam's camera so he can't see anything that's going on and they can have the party without him. Honestly, if I worked there, I'd be pulling his plug once a day. If I can't work remote, neither can he. So they throw this party and it's going great until someone knocks over a laptop and it turns this iPad into a killer Santa. Did not know that was a possibility. I would say that I'd put my iPad in another room while I sleep to prevent that, but you know what? I love my iPad. And even if it does turn into a monster, I'm okay with that. This thing is out for blood, so everyone hides in their respective studios, and Frankie goes out to get the key to the back door. But what she doesn't know is that this robot has another Terminator filter. Why is this used so much in Christmas episodes? And then the episode ends when the lazy CEO is forced to drive into work and kill the robot.
Said Christmas is cancelled.
He's taking care of business. I like to see it. Ranking time. Plot, 3 out of 5. Killer robot ruins Christmas party. At least it's original. Message, 2 out of 5. Be grateful and I guess don't trust computers? Cringe, 3 out of 5. It wasn't the best writing, but the acting wasn't bad. Entertainment value, 1 out of 5. Like I said, script not my favorite, and they don't change locations, so it kind of gets stagnant. Final score, 9 out of 20. Finally, we have made it to the last show in this era, and that is Raven's Home. This show is a sequel to That's So Raven. Now, Raven Baxter's all grown up. She's divorced, she's got 2 kids, and she's living in Chicago with her best friend Chelsea and her son. This episode starts out with an identity crisis for Booker, Raven's son. Usually he's super festive around any holiday, but this Christmas, he's just not feeling it. And his family thinks that him not feeling Christmas means that his cray, which I guess is short for crazy, which is kind of a stupid nickname, is gone forever. And they've got to help him get it back. In the second plotline, Raven and Chelsea are in their design studio when their ex-husbands Skype them and show that they're in this expensive Christmas cabin that they want them to pay half of. I guess it's nice they rented this cabin so their families could be together for Christmas, but why are you telling them this the day of? And also, you asking them to pay half of it, that's not really a Christmas surprise. Starting to see why they're ex-husbands. Back at the apartment, Nia Ravensdaughter is being a nasty friend. Her best friend's boyfriend Ramon comes over with his handmade gift he made for her, and she's like, no, she would hate that. Meanwhile, it's just because Nia hates that, and she completely steers him wrong to get a different gift. This leads to Nia having to go dumpster diving to find the gift that she threw out of his. The boyfriend doesn't rat Nia out on this, but yet she has the audacity to say this.
He was gonna get you a locket, but I told him not to. Oh, smart thinking, Nia. Thanks.
You did good, Ramon.
This girl is such a rat. She should have gotten some karma. She literally threw this guy's gift out that he took 4 hours to make. The episode ends with a snowstorm preventing the whole family from going to the cabin. There is a part 2 to this episode, but honestly, I've seen what I needed to see. Plot, 1 out of 5. I feel like nothing happened. Message, 0 to 5. If I had to guess what it was maybe not tell your ex-spouses about a trip that they have to pay half of on the day that they have to go on this trip. That just made me angry. Cringe, 2 out of 5. Entertainment value, 1 out of 5. Final score, 4 out of 20. Let's go to the next era. Gen Alpha Era. If you're wondering what the bleep I'm wearing, I'm also wondering the same question. I don't know, I just thought, what could I wear for this? What a Gen Alpha liked, right? We got Sol de Janeiro, we got Drunk Elephant, we got yelling at their parents. And then I was like, you know, Minecraft. The children yearn for the mines. Yeah, I know this is bad. I won't assault your eyes with this any further. Let me change. That's much better. First up, we have Coop and Cami Ask the World. This is a sitcom about 2 middle school age children who somehow have a large following on social media and poll them to ask them what to do with their life. Honestly, I can relate. If you guys follow me, you'll know that my community tab is like all polls. I never know what I'm doing. This episode starts out showing how this poll system works.
How would you want your presents delivered?
Would a slingshot launch be something you'd like? Or would you rather a sleigh pulled by Ollie's dirt bike? Vote now.
Both of those seem like incredibly poor options. This show reminds me of that one dude who live streams himself lighting fireworks in his room. Anyway, their plan goes poorly as we all knew it would, and their mom is pissed.
Guys, you don't think Mom's shopping for our new Super Power Station 4D game console, do you?
I hope not. The entire state of Minnesota sold out of them. It's the one thing we asked for.
Okay, let me get this straight. You guys just destroyed her Christmas tree, and now you're worried if she's out shopping for you? I'm gonna go with no. I hope she's going to a foster care facility and putting her kids up for adoption. Okay, actually that's a little far, but you'll see in this episode that these kids really need a reality check because they are crazy. And they make their mom's Christmas even worse because instead of getting a new tree like she asked, they look for their presents around the house. And when they finally remember to pick up the tree, of course the place is closed, and what do? They resort to acting like Karens.
Let's just see what your supervisor has to say.
Hello, this is Nick, the supervisor.
Yeah. That's right, good for that guy. Teach those kids a lesson. If a place is closed, a clocked out employee does not have an obligation to help you on Christmas Eve, no less. So the kids have to get creative with finding a tree, and this is the best they can come up with.
Looks like someone's ready for the big reveal.
The mom is flabbergasted by her kid's selfishness, as am I, and declares it a gift-free Christmas. Good for her. But somehow these kids still don't learn their lesson, and instead of trying to make it up to their mom, they find their Christmas presents and do this.
Hey, Ratherheads, we need your help. If you had the chance, would you rather peek at your Christmas gifts
and risk getting in trouble, or wait to be surprised
and risk being disappointed? Vote now.
Yes, because strangers on the internet should be your compass for morality. And of course the internet says to open it because they are enablers, and they do, and they're so excited to get what they got for Christmas. These kids are lucky I'm not their mom because they would never see another Christmas again after this. We wouldn't even convert to Judaism. I would find some religion that there's absolutely no presents. That's at the core tenet of the religion. But the kids' foolproof plan to wrap them up before their mom sees it obviously doesn't go to plan. Their mom comes, they hide the gifts in her trunk. I don't know why they chose that location. She goes somewhere, gets the car towed, and now the gifts are in a body garage. And when they go to the shop to retrieve it, something unexpected happens.
Who could say no to 3 cute kids on Christmas Eve?
Him.
You!
Hallelujah. It is a Christmas miracle that this guy is there to teach these kids a lesson. That's right, you better kick them to the curb and rat them out to their mom. Please, I'm begging to see some justice. But before he can do that, the mom and the oldest sister show up, steal back the gifts, so no one receives consequences, and the mom doesn't care.
Thanks again for giving us our presents after all.
We spent 4 hours in the car last night with a guy we barely knew so he could spend the holiday with his family. I got good kids.
No, you have ungrateful kids that make you do favors for other people and drive 4 hours across state lines on Christmas Eve so they can feel like good people. Anyway, ranking time. Plot, 2 out of 5, because they are the one creating all the issues. Message, 0 out of 5. You can lie, cheat, and steal and no consequences will happen because it's Christmas. Cringe, 2 out of 5. Entertainment value, 2 out of 5. Final score, 6 out of 20. Next up, we have Sydney to the Max. This show is about a girl and her dad navigating life after her mom died, and then it randomly flashes back into the past when her dad, Max, was a kid. At the top of the episode, we learn that the family is not going to Hawaii anymore for Christmas, and then we blast back into the past where the dad, Max, opens up his gift before Christmas. I'm not seeing how this correlates to the future and going to Hawaii, but I'm sure it'll tie together somewhere. Maybe in the past he loses his gift in an active volcano. But we won't find out yet because first we have to travel to 4 years before the present. There's a lot of jumping around going here, I'm a little confused, but back in the present time, we see that Sydney does not want to spend Christmas with her family.
Sid, it's like you're trying to avoid your own Christmas. That's ridiculous. Now let's get started. The sooner we put together her tree, the sooner we can hang up her paper snowflakes.
You know what? Her mom died last year and she wants to make a stranger's Christmas good. If that'll make her feel good, why not? And if her dad wants a tree that bad, he can get it himself. And also, why are we waiting till Christmas Eve for the tree? And the dad does get it for himself, but Sydney immediately sees it and gives it to the woman she bought presents for, which is crazy because she already has a tree. Listen, Sid, I was on your side, but now I don't know anymore. This is just kind of rude at this point. Okay, so finally what you've been waiting for, things are starting to tie together now. We realize that the person that Sydney bought Christmas gifts for was the person that her mom helped deliver the kid for on Christmas Eve 4 years ago, which is why Sydney didn't have Christmas with her mom. My head hurts. And then we go into the past with the dad, and he gives his jacket to an underprivileged student. Yeah, I'm still not sure how that ties into the other two narratives. And the episode's over. Ranking time. Plot, 3 out of 5. Had the dad's storyline made sense, I might have liked it better. Message, 3 out of 5. Don't steal from your family on Christmas. Cringe, 4 out of 5. Entertainment value, 2 out of 5. I actually almost did cry during this episode. It is a very sad episode, but it wasn't that it was entertaining, it was just the subject matter. Wait, but also why would I cry that it's that entertaining? Final score, 12 out of 20. Next up we have Just Roll With It. This show has a very interesting premise. It's your typical, family sitcom, 2 kids, 2 parents, but the audience gets to weigh in on what happens throughout the episode. This episode starts out in a radio station where the parents work and the kids are just randomly there. I don't know why they're taking their kids to work, but they get a new boss, Mr. Sheffield, Mr. Gooch, sorry, he is Mr. Sheffield from The Nanny, that's how I know him as, and the audience now has a chance to decide what punishment the kids get for existing.
Okay, audience, you see your choices, 1, 2, or 3.
And in a shocking choice, they went with a human washing machine, which doesn't really at all tie into the plot of this episode, or really any episode ever, but it's just kind of shock value for kids. After they go through the ringer, you see my pun, the boss decides to fire their dad, which puts the mom in a tough position because she's the boss of the dad and she has to fire him. But the kids have another plan. They break into the boss's house and try to Christmas carol him into being a good person. Great plan. Now both of your parents are going to be jobless and you're going to have a criminal record. Of course they get caught, and guess what it's time for? Audience participation.
Okay, audience, you choose which kid Sir Liam Gooch punishes.
That is a crazy poll. I would feel so bad being that child actor that got punished, because it's basically asking, like, which one of these kids do you like the least? Not the audience members standing and waving and cheering as this little girl gets escorted off. I would have had a hard cry in the car after that one. The daughter doesn't come back for the rest of the episode, but the dad does get his job back. And now it's time for audience participation yet again, because the audience has to decide what gift Mr. Gooch gets for the family. Maybe their daughter back. That might be a good place to start. Nope, instead the audience chooses a human hamster wheel, which honestly sounds incredible. If they had that at Planet Fitness, I'd be on that every day. Ranking time. Plot, 1 out of 5. It's really not about the plot. Message, 2 out of 5. It's just the classic don't be a Scrooge. Cringe, 4 out of 5. I actually like that because things happen that they didn't expect. Sometimes they would have to change lines on the spot, and it was kind of fun to watch. Entertainment value, 4 out of 5. Now, it wasn't the best storytelling I've ever seen, but it was very entertaining. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. If I was 8 years old watching this, I would eat this up. Final score, 11 out of 20. Next up, we have Gabby, Duran, and the Unsittables. This show stars Kylie Cantrell, the girl from Rise of Fred, as a babysitter for aliens. This one kind of feels like a plot that I would write for a satirical TikTok sketch, and I kind of love it because of that. The episode starts off with an alien kid telling Principal Swift, his uncle, who is the principal of Gabby's school, that there's this Santa Claus alien thing that sucks out children's souls, and he looks exactly like Santa on Earth. Back on Earth, I think they were in space, but maybe they are on Earth. Gabby asks her neighbor, who's also Principal Swift, if he can use his alien technology to be her dad for Christmas, since he disappointed them and is not gonna make it this year. This sounds like a dumpster fire idea, but I'm excited to see how it plays out. While the principal is posing as Gabby's dad, schmoozing it up with the family, his alien nephew is back at the house with his babysitter, setting booby traps for Santa, because he thinks he is an immortal, soul-sucking creature like that other dude in space. And the babysitter just goes with this, which is kind of crazy. Somehow this whole dad plan works, and then of course the real dad shows up, and then no one suspects that the first one was an imposter.
Okay, so here's the plan. Dad's gonna come back in through the front door, and we're gonna pretend like he just got here. Everybody got it? It's a Christmas redo. Welcome, Dad.
Even though they change clothing in like, I don't know, 5 seconds. I haven't seen enough of this show, so I can't tell if the family is incredibly stupid, or they just don't know that their daughter babysits for aliens who have shape-shifting technology. And back to the other plotline, they obviously don't catch Santa, but they would catch these hands if they were doing that at my house, because they make a huge mess. Ranking time. Plot, 4 out of 5. It was relatable and extremely strange, but I liked it. Message, 2 out of 5. I guess sometimes it's okay for aliens to impersonate your dad. Cringe, 4 out of 5. Entertainment value, 3 out of 5. Final score, 13 out of 20. All right, folks, we've made it to the last show, and it's Villains of Valley View. I've been wanting to see this one for a while. I like the premise. They're like reform villains. They were bad, now they're trying to be good. This reminds me of a kind of show that they would make on the classic era in Disney, and it's kind of like the Thundermans. It's got that superhero vibe to it, because I'm pretty sure in the Thundermans there's like one of them that's trying to be a villain. This episode in particular takes place in the past, so we're seeing them before they're trying to be good and when they're trying to team up to ruin Christmas. Their ideas suck though. Steal a tree, buy the hottest toy. They need to look at New York City news and get some inspo. I'm starting to see why these guys failed as villains. They've got the whole Batman thing, you know, like the holier than thou thing. Hard to be evil when you draw a line at hurting people. The first team goes to steal a tree from the mall, which is so disappointing. I thought they were talking about stealing it from Rockefeller Center or whatever the equivalent is in this world. Really? A mall tree? No one's gonna care if that's missing. And the other team is even less exciting because they try to get the last hot toy in the market by winning a raffle. Just steal it. Doofenshmirtz does more than you guys, and he's got a sophisticated platypus to deal with. And after all this stupidity, they feel empathy and give everything back. Losers!
I'm glad you came around, Mum. How could I not? That girl was so persistent and annoying. Kind of remind me of you.
Ew, ew, ew. Someone please pull out a water gun and spray pee on the crowd, or like throw a firework in an office building. This is just not what villains do. I mean, not that I have personal experience. Anyway, I'm disappointed by them. Ranking time. Plot, 1 out of 5. Message, 1 out of 5. Be nice on Christmas. Cringe, 1 out of 5. That laugh track could not save some of those jokes. Entertainment value, 1 out of 5. It is a villain show that has no action. If I wanted to watch that, I would watch Mad Men. Final score, 4 out of 20. Brave soldiers, you have made it to the end of this ranking. Honestly, pat yourself on the back. That was a doozy, that one. We have made it through the entire Disney Channel Christmas episode universe, with some exceptions. Before I reveal which episode triumphed, in true Disney Christmas fashion, I think we need to do the lesson, what we learned at the end of this video. And I think this pretty much sums it up. If you write a holiday episode, the plot has to be either a retelling of the Christmas Carol, a disastrous party, or something to do with the mall. Or if you're Casey Undercover, shooting up the National Archives. Also, bonus points if you make Santa the Terminator. I still can't believe that happened in 3 episodes. Now, without further ado, the winner with a score of 18 out of 20 is... Even Stevens! I did not think the first episode was gonna be the winner. That's like going wedding dress shopping and picking out the first dress. It just doesn't happen. I didn't even like this show as a kid, but honestly, I was too young for it. When I got around to watching it, it was reruns anyway. But I forgot how great of an actor Shia LaBeouf was. Him alone made me want to go back and watch other episodes. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching my ranking. I know I did. If you're mad at my rankings, please let me know. If you agree with them, I mean, as you should, please let me know. And most importantly, subscribe and tell me what you want me to watch next.